Hey everyone, welcome back to CryptoCache. Thanks again for joining me here. Hope you're having a great day. Quick look here again at ICP, double checking a few important things. Well, it looks like we broke free from this descending trend line. Just kidding, it was a quick and complete fake out. Again, that's mostly because of Bitcoin pulling back right now, expecting somewhere in the 63K range. So I wouldn't be surprised if ICP does end up testing that lower range here at about 750. Anyways, I'm just throwing that out there. This is doing exactly what we expect it to do, within reason, of course. We did anticipate the price action pulling back to, well, after rejecting off that level. And that's mainly based on the premise that Bitcoin was going to do the same thing at 66,000, which it did. So again, it's not like, this was like a surprise at all, right? We kind of saw this coming. However, in order to get free from this, we're going to need to break free from this range here. And again, a closure at about $8.80 or higher, specifically on the daily, is what we're going to be looking for. Because if you look at the daily time frame here, we can see a candle wake up and we didn't close above that level, right? So it's important to recognize daily candlestick closures are probably the most impactful thing to pay attention to. And since we didn't have that, there's no reason we would consider taking a trade. Unless, of course, you want to short the top, that's fine too. Anyways, let's take a look at the back end data here, kind of see what's going on. And quick congrats to our community members for some awesome trades here recently. We've been shorting Bitcoin for a little while. Of course, that's one thing, but our day trading bot's been doing very well. We got ETH, Matic, Chainlink, Cardano, and we did trigger one stop loss here for Matic at 13%, but obviously made up the difference with Solana, Cardano, Litecoin, XRP, ETH, and Link. Okay, so again, we got 8 trading pairs that are automatically being traded there through that, and it's been a pretty good experience there. Again, with swing trades kind of lacking as far as the amount of swing trades that we're finding opportunities for, day trading is kind of the way to go. There's no other way around it right now. It's kind of a day trader's paradise with all this chop. Okay, that's generally what you want to trade. Anyways, what we're looking at here is last 7 days of liquidation for ICP. We can see heavy concentration at 745. So once more, I'm still leaning more towards Bitcoin to 63,000 and to see a sweep of that 7.4 range as a rough estimate. Again, this is just liquidation. This is not like always, the price doesn't always go in that same direction. In fact, we have a decent amount of liquidation at about $10 upwards of about 10, 15. So there's a possibility of going either direction, right? We got to recognize that. So if we do zoom out and we kind of look at the 1 month, we can see there's not a lot of liquidation left down below the price. And that's a good sign. That's definitely telling us that we're getting closer to the bottom and there's less incentive for the price to pull back because really nobody's taking any long positions. Half the reason why the price is pulling back in the first place because there's no buying pressure at all. The whales are able to just sell whatever they want when they want, okay? Anyways, just some things foundationally to understand the back end there. Another thing to recognize too, and this is important, is what is it here? It's going to take a look at, let's curve that for now. I want to explain this really quick here and just recognize that we're below all moving averages at 200 and the 20-day SMA above the price action. We got to recognize that this high point of control at about $12, that's where we have the most amount of volume before we lost that support. We have the 200-day SMA hanging out right there. So that is going to be a very strong resistance range. We got to recognize that. That's not going to be a good thing here for us in the big picture to be able to get above that. We're going to need a lot of volume to get past that. So people keep asking me, what's going on with that? Well, that's going to be a perfect place to consider shorting if the price comes back up to that level. All right, for right now though, everything is truly bearish. There's no other way around it. Even though we're starting to kind of plateau and hang out in this 30 range for the RSI, it's still unfavorable. All right, it's not something you trade into. So I don't think it's advantageous to consider a long position. The only thing that would allow for ICP to continue to flourish is if Bitcoin, again, does fairly well, makes a run towards 67,000, closes above it, and then continues to print higher highs and higher lows. We're going to need that to be able to see any survival from ICP. So what we're going to do here today too is we're going to consider and take a look at some lower levels here. So let's just quickly touch on DCA targets because I get the question a lot right now from my community. How do I dollar cost, where do I dollar cost average into? And I'm going to start sending out spot signals soon. We're getting kind of that taken care of on the back end through my web developers, but with spot signals, the concept is DCA targets. Most people want to have those dollar cost average targets, and that's kind of the highest amount of votes that we've received. Having said that though, if we look here at this 1.272 or 1.414, these are the areas we should see the price retrace to if we lose this support here at the rough estimate of 755. Okay, so we can see here $6.05 and $5.27 as a secondary, and tertiary would be $4.15. I think that's a little aggressive, but if we do kind of look out and zoom out a little further, we can see that we don't have a ton of support in that range. Okay, so we very well could see the low $4 range. Okay. I don't think that's a probability yet, but if we get there, we could see it. So I would recommend considering some limit orders there just in case the price action does wick down there. Take a look here at the 4-hour time frame. Let's recognize a few things here as well. We can see the 20-day SMA working as a still resistance. Okay, that's working with that descending trend line. Now again, you're like, wait a minute, it was up above that for 12 hours. Why is that a resistance? Well, the truth is the daily candlestick didn't close above that. We're still under this descending trend line. That's why the trend lines are very helpful. Okay, so you can jump above and below moving averages, and this is not going to be like a magnificent support and resistance level. What is magnificent in most cases for support and resistance is areas of volume profiles, as well as previous areas that were tested and then broken. So again, that's the $8.80 mark is a strong resistance until we break above that and close above it soundly. We have no reason to consider ICP is going to be back on track. We can see stochastic swinging down now too. We rejected off 50 in the RSI. These are generally unfavorable. Absolutely more likelihood of the price pulling back than going up at this point. We could see on the hourly too, a very similar scenario here too, where it still looks pretty bearish. We're below all 4 moving averages now, and if we take a look at the Ichimoku cloud, we're testing the upper lead with the lagging span intersecting the price action and conversion line right there at the baseline. That basically just means that we are not in a prime position to take either a long or a short. So when you see that, you steer clear of it, right? It's just, I wish I could think of some really cool analogies right now, but the best way to describe it is, just driving against traffic. Why do that when you increase the odds of an accident? Why not go with a flow of traffic and just set your car on autopilot? Again, there's different things you can kind of do and help yourself with if you were to just kind of go with the grain. So at this point, there's no reason to do either because you're probably better off. It's rush hour traffic right now, right? Let's steer clear of any type of traffic by just not driving. Okay? That's kind of what we're looking at here. Anyways, this X on the chart is what we're looking for confirmation. We want to have a solid daily candlestick closure above $8.80. We're not talking just like an ugly, candle wicked out candle. We're looking for a nice, solid, bullish engulfing candle to close above $8.80 to show us that the bulls are in control of the last 24-hour period. We take a look at this here too. We can see, even though our current price right now is at yesterday's point of control, so far today the bears have controlled this $8.60 range. So that's the area of which we've seen the most amount of buying and or selling. So I would say that that's the area that we need to close above at the very least to have any luck moving forward. So again, just some things to kind of think about. ICP is not like, it's not good. We'll just put it that way. I'll update our playout chart here and just kind of give you a consensus on where we're at here at this point. But I do think we could see a sweep of this lower level liquidity at 750 if Bitcoin loses its bottom, makes a run towards 63K, which I still think is a distinct probability considering we have $10 billion worth of liquidation at 63,000. It's a pretty big number. Anyways, I hope you all have a good rest of your day. Thanks so much for watching. Again, check out Bitunix, phenomenal exchange. You can trade ICP on there as well. No KYC or VPN for our US and Canadian members. And if you use my link to register, get some awesome benefit rewards there. Check us out on Twitter, Telegram, Discord, YouTube, and TikTok now as well. I have some shorts. I provide typically some updates regularly throughout the week. So check that out. Thanks again for your time. Look forward to seeing you in the next one. Have a good rest of your day. Take care.